Hello students, a very warm welcome to all of you. So all the ICSE 10 students, this session is particularly for all of you and the topic is study of acids, bases and salts. This is the next chapter that I need to discuss after chemical bonding, and I hope you are very much ready for the same because you asked for this particular topic that ma'am, yeah, we have a basic idea about acids and bases. So what about and how to calculate the strength of a given acid and base? How do we know how strong or weak my given acid and base is? And do we calculate that in real life? Do we see its application in our day-to-day life? So I'll try to solve all the queries that you're having in your mind about this topic. Stay with me till the end and all of your doubts must be cleared. Trust me about the same. Who am I? My name is Anubha Gaur, your chemistry master teacher at Vedantu, and let's rock the session. Let's start it with me. And students, before starting and let's going to be in the depth of this topic, let me just tell you how Vedantu platform is going to give you the solution of all of your problems that you generally face as a student, because I know the same phase I have been into like a few years back. That is not even few years back, I could say. Yeah, now I can't even calculate. See how bad I am in maths. No, I can, but it's like not clicking right now in my mind. The problems, guys, that you face is like, ma'am, my doubts are not getting solved instantly, and sometime whenever I try to study the same topic, I came with certain doubts and I marked it, and then there is no other chance to ask it, and our doubts remain doubts, and that will haunt us in the exam time as well, whenever question will come from the same topic. Apart from that, my 70 to 80% time goes into making the notes, and then also I won't say came with the best quality, because whenever I try to write the same, teachers are like, you can definitely do better, you could get good marks if you write it in that way. So can we get proper notes of each and every topic with all the important questions, how to write and frame the answer so that teacher will be like, yeah, this is the right way. And after every session, there must be a small assignment shared with us, so that when we practice 8 to 10 questions, we are pretty much sure that this topic is super duper clear in our mind, and we will not make any mistakes out of the same. Every 15 days there must be a test, so that you won't forget whatever is done in those 15 days, and you'll totally remember it again and again, and will definitely lead you to score better. Definitely 90 plus is not challenging at all if you'll follow this. Competitive exams preparation like NTSC, JSTSC, Olympiad, IIT, NEET, all of the exams preparation you can definitely do at this platform side by side with your boards, with the choice of your own schedule, with the choice of your own language. That's what we are following at our channel. Also, we have made two channels, Vedantu 910 Hindi channel and English channel, where you can follow all the teachers simultaneously and will get all the topics. Same thing happened to our platform, Vedantu platform. You will get the choice of choosing your own language. Own language means Hindi or English, with the choice of your own schedule, that ma'am, I'm free at those that ma'am, I am free between that time to that time only. Suppose 4 to 7, suppose 5 to 8, suppose 5 to 9. So you can choose your schedule accordingly. It's totally student centric, where you will decide when you are free, that when you want to attend any session or not. Isn't it awesome? So all the problems can be solved at what platform? You know that, Vedantu, with all the bonuses, like all the main 6 subjects will be taught in such a wonderful way, with all the quizzes, leaderboard, as well as animations, and just possible with all the important question being discussed in the session, and definitely it is going to be a great experience. So you can attend unlimited live classes over there, 8 to 10 also if you're free. If you really want to complete some topic, it's all up to you. Micro courses, chapter based courses, it's like even if you are left with any of the doubt, you will be a part of the micro course, chapter based course including in the same, and you can revise one particular chapter so many times as you want. Crash courses also, performance report after every session, in session progress, that where you are, how you're doing, with the personalized attentions of your master teachers. Also class teachers are also there in the session, and their main focus is to solve all your doubts. We'll be having section in the class also. Every section will be having class teacher definitely solve all your problems, and you will be like, yeah, now it's like the same experience that I'm getting everything and I'm enjoying everything, every part of it. So students, everything will be possible if you visit this link, that's vtnt.in/ytpro, and the code you should never forget, because code is something that will give you discount, and I know that everyone like discount. So this is AG ma'am's code, Anubha Gaur ma'am's code, AGE for this English channel, and Pro is our course. So AGE Pro, just apply this code, you will get the discount. And how's that possible? When you visit the link, this page will be there on the screen. You have to select your grade, and then you have to select your target, that which board in you are, and then you have to click on get subscription, and you can choose your subscription wisely from 1 month, 3 months, and 6 months subscription. Is there any difference in any of the subscription? Only depending upon the monetary benefit, I can say 1 month will cost you, 1 month is more of like getting to know about this platform and attending some particular classes just to get clear of our doubts, or just to see how this will work or whether this will suit me or not. And trust me, after that you will move to a 6 months course because you will like it. So if you want to try for 1 month, the course was supposedly for 4,000, with Antu giving you extra discount because of the situation, 2699, and how AGE PRO code is helping you to get extra discount, so that the same course you will get for 2294 rupees. Isn't it awesome? All the 6 subjects, all the micro courses, all the foundation batch classes, master class, and all the class teachers going to solve your doubts, assignment notes, everything in that particular price. So I don't think you can miss it, or you should miss it. 3-month course was supposed to be for 10,000. After discount, 6,999, and AGPRO code will help you to save up to 27% on MRP, and you will get the same for 5,949. What does that mean? That you are going to pay just 1983 rupees per month. Can you see the difference? That's what I was telling, that you will get extra benefit if you become a part of Vedantu for a longer time and be a long-term student, so that we'll value our students definitely, that they are there with us for a longer time. So you should be benefited out of the same. 6 months course, 16,000. Extra discount, 11,499. AGPRO code will save extra 1724 rupees, so that you'll get the same course in 9774. Isn't it amazing? You are saving 40% on MRP and just going to pay 1629 rupees per month. Isn't it awesome? 1629 rupees per month means if you are going to attend, suppose roughly 8 sessions, if you are required for the same, you are just paying 10 rupees per session, which is not at all difficult to think, and giving you everything. So let's not waste it somewhere which is not required, but give it in a proper direction which is giving you a direction. So try to enroll it now. This is the best time, students. This is the link in front of you. I'm repeating it again, vtnt.in/ytpro, and this is like extra discount, and discount is something we all like it. So do not forget to apply this AGE Pro. Okay, I know that you got it. So let's start the session. Let's rock it. Let's find out the solution of all our problems from the topic, definitely, that how can we decide whether a given acid is strong or weak, strength of the acid and base solution, how to calculate it numerically, experimentally, and how to see that in laboratory. We'll see all the problems, solutions. All right, everyone. So let me start with this question, and I'm sure enough that you'll get the answer automatically. The question is, you have two acid in front of you. That's the main problem. If you do the litmus test, that will also turn blue to red whether you'll choose HCl or H2SO4, right? Both are acid. How to know which is a stronger acid? So there must be a better way. Let's discuss that and you will get to know which acid is stronger and your myth is going to be broken. Yeah, students, yeah, definitely. And how to decide that, students? Please see this line in front of you. You will get the answer. The acidic, basic or neutral solution can be ascertained on the basis of ionization, how they are converting into ions, how they are dissociating. Okay, so what's the main funda how to decide whether a given acid or base or given substance to you is strong or weak? Totally depend upon its degree of dissociation. That whether I'm going to get more amount of what? More amount of H positive, more and more amount of H positive, more and more strong acid will be. More and more amount of OH negative, more and more strong base will be, and vice versa. But how to see that? What exactly is the procedure behind it? Let's see that, and definitely who is going to help us? Who is our savior? Water. Because what do we say? That I have a strong acid, weak acid. How we can decide that? We'll make a solution of acid or base in water only, right? That I've put this much amount of acid in water, I have put this much amount of base in water, then only we'll get a solution of acid and base, because water helps to dissociate the ions of acid and base and to prove the acidic or basic behavior, right? So this is something that you should know. What I'm telling you, let's talk about water and then we'll talk about the acid and base. That water ionizes to a very small extent, and how it does that, students? Water involves in self-ionization. Self-ionization means when I have one H2O, that is HOH, that will decompose, that will ionize to give H positive, OH negative. And the other water molecule, we have two water molecule. One is dissociating into the ion. Self-ionization means one water molecule somehow is approaching the other molecule to convert them into ions and involves in self-ionization. How? As soon as this H2O is approaching, in the last class, I taught you guys about the concept of covalent bonding and coordinate covalent bonding. My oxygen is having, we did discuss the structure of hydronium ion. My oxygen is having two electron pair which is not involving in any kind of a reaction. Please see that video if you haven't seen it yet. And this H positive, how? This H2O is telling to this H2O, okay, if you give me H positive, I don't mind, I have extra pair of electron and I can attach to my H positive because electron negative, this is positive, I can totally take H positive. So this electron pair will be given to H positive, a dative bond where I'm going to get hydronium ion, and I got my OH negative, my hydroxyl ion in the free form. One water molecule helping the other water molecule in what sense? In ionizing them, self-ionization. So what are you going to get in the water, students? Hydronium ion, or you can also call it in simple, this H positive in water. So H positive aqueous ions. Also hydroxyl ions. I hope this step is pretty much clear. So let's go to the next step, that whenever you're going to take 1 liter of water, how much amount of ions of hydronium ions and OH negative ions it is going to give you. So look at this, 10 to the power minus 7 moles per liter. Means when are you going to take 1 liter of water, it will decompose to give 10 to the power minus 7 moles of H positive, or we'll call it what? Hydronium ions. Also, as water is totally and equally going to dissociate into both the ions, that I'm going to take 2 molecules of water, it will give hydronium ion and OH negative. In what sense? That's neutral in nature, because the amount of this H positive with this water attached to it and my OH negative is equal. Right, students? Water dissociated completely into H positive, OH negative, or hydronium or OH negative. Why? Because that's why it's neutral. The H positive, OH negative equal, and whenever they combine, that's a neutral solution. when the strength of H ions and strength of OH ions are equal. That can't be acidic, that can't be basic. Equal, that means 10 to the power minus 7 moles of my H positive and 10 to the power minus 7 moles of my OH negative. Pretty much clear? So when I'll tell you about this picture, what does that mean? That when I'm having 1 liter of water, I can talk about the ionic product of water. What is ionic product? The product of the concentration of H positive and OH negative. How much it was there? 10 to the power minus 7 and 10 to the power minus 7. We are taking a standard solution 1 liter. Okay, a standard solvent basically. 10 to the power minus 7, 10 to the power minus 7, that means total 10 to the power minus 14 moles per liter at the room temperature, that's 25 degrees Celsius. We'll talk about that part in some other class, that how temperature can also affect this. Alright students, so I am having ionic product of water. Somehow the ions that I'm having in the water, 10 to the power minus 7 H positive, 10 to the power minus 7 OH negative, in total 10 to the power minus 14 moles of ions per liter of solution, and that can never be changed. In water, always this much amount of hydronium and OH negative ions must be there. Alright, so this part is pretty much clear, that what I'm having in terms of H positive and OH negative always will be the same, that is 10 to the power minus 14. Now what's the point? I have my water, as I told you, what I need to check ultimately my acid and base. I am going to put acid in the water, right, or base in the water. So first let's discuss the case of acid. I'm having my water and I'm putting acid into it. So what will happen when you're going to put acid into the water? Concentration of hydronium ion is going to increase. Isn't it like an obvious thing? Because water will help the acid to dissociate, and when acid dissociate, majorly it is going to furnishes more and more amount of H positive ions. So I have already hydronium ions in water which is equal to OH negative, but the acid, suppose I'm having HCl, that also dissociate to give H positive and Cl negative. See, the overall H ion concentration, which I can also say hydronium ion concentration, increases, right? And hydroxyl ion concentration is going to decrease. Why I'm telling you this? As I told you that in the water, ionic product is always 10 to the power minus 14. So that is due to this ions and this ions. So if this is increasing in the water, that must decrease. That's the reason this overall concentration will always be 10 to the power minus 14. So are you getting this point? That Kw, that is ionization of the water, that ionic product of water, always same. So when you put acid, hydronium ion increases and OH ion decreases. When you put base, OH ion increases and hydronium ion decreases. This point is clear? So isn't it like giving us an idea that what happens when you put an acid and base into water? That will dissociate to furnish more H ions. That means more and more amount of H positive ions, stronger and stronger acid you're going to get. More and more amount of OH negative ions you're going to get, more and more stronger base you're going to get. So it's totally depend upon the degree of dissociation, that whether the given acid is strong or weak, whether the given base is strong or weak in the water, right? More will be H positive ions, more strong will be the acid. So when we talk about the same thing, how can we decide which acid is going to dissociate to give more H positive ions? Isn't it like an obvious question that must be there in your mind? Ma'am, how does we know in HCl and H2SO4 which acid is stronger and going to give you more amount of H positive? You must be thinking, ma'am, H2SO4, 2 H positive ions, HCl, 1 H positive ions. That's totally not true. Listen to this. The dissociation of H positive ions in water depends upon the strength of the bond between hydrogen and other component. When I'm taking HCl and when I'm taking H2SO4, I can also write it in this way, students. So that totally depend upon this bond strength between my H positive and the negative counterpart. So when we'll talk about this HCl and H2SO4, to dissociate this bond, less energy is needed, and it is going to dissociate better because this is kind of a weak bond comparatively than this one. Okay, that means the bond strength of this is weaker. My Cl negative readily wanted to come to Cl negative. Why? Because it's having electron and it's kind of like, yeah, I am okay with that and I'm stable with that. And this is kind of a strong because this is giving HSO4 negative by sulfate ion, hydrogen sulfate ion, which is not that stable and getting not that much stability. This must be stable enough. So the whole point is how to decide whether a given acid is strong or weak. That depends upon how the degree of dissociation of the ions and the H positive and the negative counterpart, and that totally depend upon the bond strength of H positive and the negative counterpart. So stronger the bond, less will be dissociation, and the product must be stable also, so that will be the weak one. And weaker the bond, that means readily want to dissociate, really want to give some stable substance, so more strong that acid will be. So when you compare HCl and H2SO4 students, HCl is a stronger one than H2SO4, totally depend upon the bond that I talked about it, how that's dissociating. Alright, how that's dissociating. I hope that helps. I can clear the space as you might not able to see this. Yeah, clear. So HCl is more acidic than H2SO4. These are the main points that you should know, students. Now, how would I know that you got this topic? Well, we'll discuss at least one more example. See, I have different kind of acid in front of you, and I'm arranging them in a group. Fluorine comes before, right? HF, HCl, and then HBr, and then HI. I put all the acids according to the group 17, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. What I meant to say here, hydrogen is a smaller atom and combining to fluorine, which is also kind of smaller. But what we'll see, in chlorine, comparatively bigger, in bromine, comparatively bigger, and in iodine, comparatively much bigger. So the whole point that I want to say here, that when one substance you can see is tiny, one atom is tiny and another one is very big, the kind of bond strength will not be very strong between it, right? So this can dissociate easily, this bond strength won't be very good, this can dissociate easily, so H ions will be comparatively more free, so that will be the stronger acid among all of this, and this will be the weaker one. Why? Because this kind of overlapping, this kind of a bonding is strong enough because of good overlapping, almost similar kind of a size, not having much of difference. So this point is clear, that how bond strength is playing a very big role in the same. Alright, means my students are smart enough. Please, you can make some small notes. That will always help you writing some more important points, and you can download the PDF also. Alright, so acid part is super duper clear. Now I don't think there will be any problem understanding the base. What's the reason, students? It's almost the same effect, right? It's almost the same, that in base more and more amount of OH negative ions are there in the solution with the water, more and more stronger the base will be, right? So it's the same only, that suppose I'm having NaOH and I'm dissociating into water. Water is already giving me hydronium ions and OH negative ions. My NaOH, whenever we put it in water, that will dissociate to give these ions. So what we see, we are going to have more and more amount of OH negative, and amount of hydronium ions are going to decrease and decrease. So more and more amount of OH negative, more and more stronger the base will be, and that also totally depend upon the bond strength. Stronger the bond, weaker will be the dissociation, lesser will be the dissociation, then weaker the acid will be, and vice versa. Right, students, you get this point? All right. So that's it to understand how acid and base solution can be checked. But now, can we quantitatively find the amount of H positive and OH negative in a solution? quantitatively we'll be able to find that H positive and H negative will be how much. Can we judge how strong an acid and base is in terms of knowing some particular formula in mathematics, and we'll have our answer. So yes, think that's definitely possible. How that's possible, students? Let's talk about two methods. One in the laboratory, how can we judge that? By seeing that, and one how mathematically we can calculate that. So first of all, it's nothing but having universal indicator that can tell us about the strength of acid and base. In what sense? Universal indicator is nothing but a mixture of dyes. Okay, there are so many dyes. Dyes functions are nothing but to impart its color. So there are so many mixture of dyes we are going to mix, and then we got this universal indicator. And what does that do? As it's having a mixture of every dye at a particular strength of acid and base give a particular color. So when you are having this solution of universal indicator, that's not so much easy to use. So we use it in a better form. We use it in the form of pH paper. Okay, we'll talk about this. So pH paper, we'll take some filter paper, good quality. We'll dip in the universal indicator solution and we'll get it dry. I got my pH paper. Now the thing is, when we're having a pH paper and we are testing any acid and base by dipping into it, every time depending upon the strength of acid and base, it will give a particular color and we can decide how strong or weak my acid or base is. Isn't it amazing that we can totally see that? I'll show you the chart. And what about in a mathematical way, how to see that? So there's a scientist, his name was Sorensen. Okay, Sorensen in 1909 gave this pH scale and that pH chart. Okay, and according to this formula, how to calculate the pH of a solution. What is pH? P for a Greek word potens, and potens means power. H for power of what? Hydrogen ions. So he is like, even in my acid, even in my base, we will always see hydronium ions, whether in the less amount, whether in the more amount. So that's a good thing. Okay, so on the basis of having this H positive ions, hydronium ions, I can tell how much stronger weak your acid and base is. According to the formula, this is negative of logarithm base 10 to the concentration of H positive. Oh ma'am, what's that formula? Like a big one. How to understand that? I'll tell you each and every part. Please listen to me. Log is what, students? Logarithm is what? Generally we use in mathematics whenever we are having a very big quantity or very small quantity. It's like very difficult to use that every time. So these mathematicians are like, we should write it in a better way, because remembering and solving in terms of whole number is always easy rather than going to those big and very small numbers. So log is converting your very big or very small numbers to a whole number which is easy to solve. And to the base 10 means whatever the H ion concentration I'm having, that's there in the base 10. That means 10 to the power minus 1, 10 to the power minus 2, 10 to the power minus 3, and so on. So base 10 means I'm having H ion concentration in terms of 10th ka base, right? And minus sign, why we are using it, I'll let you know now. Suppose you're having a solution in which they are telling that I'm having HCl solution in such a way that the hydronium ion concentration in the solution is 10 to the power minus 4 moles per liter. Right, that I'm having HCl solutions having a strength of 10 to the power minus 4 moles per liter, that it will furnish us 10 to the power minus 4 moles of H positive and 10 to the power minus 4 moles of Cl negative. But I'm only concentrated with this value. So see how to solve it. I'll give you one example. pH will be, I'm not using log minus right now. Okay, I'll tell you. Log to the base 10, 10 to the power minus 4. So what this base will and how to use it, they're like, when we have log to the base 10, that gives you 1. Only when you have whatever power, that how to solve that into log, that will come in the starting. So let me just show you how to use that, everyone. Let me change the color. Yeah. It's like remembering this formula, log m, whatever values you are having, to the power n. And how to solve that? n comes in the very starting from the log. Then log m. Alright. So minus 4 I'm putting in starting and log to the base 10. And log 10 value is 1. There is a log table that can help you with all the values. You can remember simple values. Log 1 is equal to 0 and log 10 is equal to 1. Alright. So what we are going to get out of this value? Log 10 becomes 1, right? Okay. So I got minus 4, log 10 is 1. What value I got? Minus 4. So now you remember what's the use of using a minus sign? Minus sign is used so that minus minus becomes positive and we'll get a positive value, because they are like, let's have the scale into positive values only. pH values are restricted to the values of 0 to 14 in his chart. So that's why minus signs were used, so that we'll get a positive whole number, right? So I got the value 4. In simple, let's not even complicate and solve that. Whatever will be the power of the 10th, like a whole number, just write that as the answer. Not minus sign, you know that minus will be cancelled out. So 10 to the power minus 4 means its pH will be 4. 10 to the power minus 5 means pH will be 5. 10 to the power minus 7, pH will be 7. And in that way, you are going to get values from 0 to 14. It's like his drawback also, that will only be limited to this much values. Alright? Yes, so that's what is written, that whenever you're having whatever values of 10 to the power, that will give you the pH in a simple whole number. That's what the scale is, 0 to 14, as I told you. Now, pH is minus log of concentration of H positive. If I want to write it into a better way, to not have minus sign, I can also write it 1 by log H positive. Or in more simpler way, pH is like inversely proportional to H ion concentration, like understanding it in a very short possible way and not going to that detail. pH is inversely proportional to H positive. What does that mean? More and more H ion concentration when I'm getting into the solution, lesser and lesser pH I'm going to get. So lesser value of pH means it will be a strong acid. Higher and higher lower and lower concentration of H positive means there must be higher concentration of OH. See, I told you water ionization. When I'm having very high amount of OH negative, that means I am having very, very less amount of H positive hydronium ions. So when less amount of H positive, that totally means more amount of OH negative, and that totally means pH will be very high. That means I'm going to get a base. So students, when I talk about the 7 is like a middle value. 7, at that moment of time, my H ions and OH ions are equal in between. H ions, OH ions become equal, that gives a neutral solution. And on this side of the scale, lesser than 7, I'm going to get acidic solution. Lesser and lesser value of pH, more and more stronger the acid will be. 0, 1, 2, I'm going to get a strong acid, then a mild acid, then I'm going to get a weak acid. In the same way, more than 7 values means it's a base, because OH ion concentration is going to increase on this side and vice versa, H ion concentration is going to decrease. So more than 7, that means 7.1, 7.2, 8.59 means that's kind of a weak acid. That means a weak base, then a mild base, then a strong base. Alright students, so you can see also some of the values in front of you, some of the day-to-day life things in front of you, that how my milk and my soda is kind of acidic, my tomato is also acidic, my lemon is also acidic. So pH values, you can define it totally. Look at this, some example of your day-to-day life. First of all, I hope this point is clear, that depending upon the concentration of H positive, I can decide its pH. 10 to the power 0, 0 pH. 10 to the power minus 1, 1 pH. 10 to the power minus 2, 2. Just look at this value and write it with a positive sign. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I'm having pH, and looking at the pH value, I can decide how much strong and weak my given acid and base is. Hydrochloric acid is very strong because it's having pH around 1. lemon juice, vinegar, kind of a strong. You're like, ma'am, lemon juice 2 pH. We are able to have it. Why we are not burning ourselves in terms of our tongue? Because that's in the very, very diluted form. Whatever fruits we are having, it's having more amount of water than the acid. Okay? Yeah. Then orange juice, coffee. Coffee is acidic. Milk is slightly acidic. Pure water is having a pH of 7. Blood and eggs around 7.2 to 7.4. That means slightly basic. Okay, students? Your detergent is slightly basic, soap is basic, household bleach is basic, and the baking soda that you use as an antacid is also pretty much basic. So that's a scale in front of you. I hope that's pretty much clear. When 7 value, H ion concentration equal to OH ion, lesser than 7 means H positive are more. More than 7 means OH negative are more. That's so easy, right? So this part is pretty much clear. You can remember the color also. Let me tell you how to remember the colors. Just remember VIBGYOR. It's like the rainbow that you see, and write it in this scale. Violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. It's VIBGYOR, right? Violet color, very dark blue color for higher pH, and then blue color for lower pH in the base, green for my neutral solution, and yellow for my slightly acidic solution, orange for my mild acid, and red is for my very strong acid. Remember this trick, VIBGYOR. It will help you to remember the color in a possible way, that whenever we dip pH paper, what color I am going to expect. Right, students? So this part is pretty much clear, that what is universal indicator and how this is going different color. This is showing different color at different concentration, and it what form we are using it in the form of pH paper. I already told you. Always change its color in acid, base and neutral solution with a different color. See, you can see that here also. Violet, purple, indigo, blue, and then turquoise blue means the shade of blue. Green for my neutral solution. Then it's like a mixing of color. Green, and then yellow, orange, red. And then whenever they mix, we'll get a mixed color also. It's like lime green, yellow, beige, orange. You do not need to remember that in that detail. Alright, it will confuse you. So this part is clear. You can always download the PDF and see that how our day-to-day life is so much connected to it, and how the acid we are having in our stomach is also very strong, but not hurting us, because we have those mucus layer which is protecting us. Alright. So now you're pretty much clear. I hope most of your important doubts are solved, that how to decide whether a given acid is strong or weak, how to calculate that in the laboratory and mathematically. Now, what's the importance of that pH in our day-to-day life, and how the nature and we itself is kind of busy in balancing it? We should know that, right? So let's talk about one of the example, and that's nothing but our acid rain. The question is, are plants and animals pH sensitive? Definitely they are. Right, students? You know that most of the factories are giving the gases to the atmosphere. Which gases? Non-metal oxides like nitrogen oxides, alright, sulfur dioxide, and then carbon dioxide. What will happen? They will go to the atmosphere combined with the water vapor, and you know what gases and what kind of acids they are going to produce. Look at this. You can see that. Right? That NO2 with water will give nitric acid in the very diluted form, definitely. Sulfurous acid that can further combine with the oxygen to give sulfuric acid, and then you will get carbonic acid that you drink in all the soft drinks bottle also. So these kind of acids in very diluted form, very diluted form, coming to the earth, and that is mixing with the soil, that is mixing with all the water sources like rivers, seas and all. So what will happen? That will fall onto different plants also, marbles also, monuments also, and that is affecting all of these things. Plants, whenever these acids are falling into it, lost their green character and becoming yellowish, and can be dead if the pH will be very strong, lesser than 5.5. Okay. Same, mixing with all the water, so water bodies are also going to affected by the same. They will also survive in the pH range of slightly 7.2, 7.4. But when the pH goes beyond 5.5, that is like harming them, and aquatic plants and animals can die out of the same. Same happens to plant also, as I told you, right? So it's very easy to balance it, students. And you know what, that's because of the same reason so many countries are so responsible that every time, with the help of helicopters and all, in their water bodies they are mixing some bases like calcium oxide, calcium carbonate, powder of this in the water body, so that the pH can be balanced, so that the aquatic plants and animals can survive. Good thing, right? We should also think about the same. Same happens to our body also, students. Our body also work at a minimum pH range of 7 to 7.8. That means that's the best pH and we'll be healthy. And if somehow our pH decreases out of this value, then we'll feel sick in terms of what? We'll start having pain in our body, because when we have acid in our body, acid accumulation, that part starts paining. So whenever you get that, that means acid accumulation is happening. Acidic means poor health, alkaline means good health. Then all the basic nutrients, multivitamins are suggested to you, so that they'll do their work. All right. And as I told, for plant growth also, for the better fertilization of crops, your pH of the soil is very much important to maintain. And that's how, what the farmers are going to do, that's what they do. They mix the given substances according to the nature of the soil. If the soil is supposed too acidic, and any plants or any crops you want to grow in a basic medium, what they'll do, they'll put some weak bases like calcium oxide, calcium carbonate, easily available, economical also. And when your soil is too basic and you want to grow some crops and plants that can grow in slightly acidic medium, what they'll do, they'll put organic manure into the same. Okay, they'll put organic manure properly into that land, and what will happen, that will mix properly, and that is slightly acidic in nature. So with base, they are kind of neutralizing and giving the required pH. Same acidic, we are going to put base, so that whatever we need, neutralization will happen and can acquire a particular pH that we wanted. Isn't it great? So pH application are so much around ourselves, it just whether we will see that or not. See, as I told you, our stomach also produce HCl. Why? Because that HCl is somehow helping us to digest our food, for the breaking down of our food and digesting it. Okay, so when we eat so much of sugary food and all, what will happen? Excessive oily food, the acid production will become more. And when acid production will become more, our stomach starts hurting, because mucus layer is getting affected by the same. And then what will we do? Again, the same funda we are applying, managing the pH by taking in antacid. Antacid is anti-acid, means definitely a mild or weak base. Okay, and when you take it like Eno pouch, Gelocil Digene, Eno is having baking soda into that with some fruit salt, definitely. And when I talk about my Gelocil Digene, they are having this milk of magnesia, magnesium hydroxide solution, and they are acting as antacid and neutralize the excess of acid which is going to be there in your stomach, and neutralize it, and salts are not going to affect us. All right, and yeah, we'll feel relief. That's important. Okay, see this, and yeah, that's, I guess no one liked it, right? That, see what is happening to the tooth, that whenever you eat so much of sugary food and doesn't do brush also, after a few days mom is like, your teeth are going to be rotten only, you're not even doing brush. That's not good. Why? Sugary food stuck into your teeth, and the enzyme which are there in your saliva helps to decompose the food and releases acid. So just to decompose or digest those particles, what will happen? Acid accumulation will be there in your saliva, in your mouth, and then whenever it goes beyond 5.5, that starts affecting your teeth in terms of giving you cavity, in terms of damaging them. So that's not good. What I'll suggest, Please brush twice a day, especially after eating your food in the night and before your sleep. Please, please, that's very important. Brush daily, that too 2 times, specifically at the night time. Okay, very important. What is we are having in the toothpaste? That's again base, and that will neutralize the excess of acid. All right, so do care of your teeth. Okay, that's very important part. And same thing is used by, same phenomena is used by bee also for their self defense whenever they are, thinking that there is some kind of a danger. And if they are thinking we are the danger, they bite us. And what did they do? They are going to sting us, and in that sting there is an acid called as formic acid. All right, everyone. Formic is like a common name, just like Anubha ma'am is also known as Anu. My family call me Anu. So formic is like a common name. Formic word came from formas, that means red ants. Okay, so red ants also releases this acid. Bee also releases this acid. And scientifically, by IUPAC, International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry, that's also called as methanoic acid. It's scientific name. So whenever that acid is released as its acid, so what will happen? We'll start feeling pain and kind of a swelling, and obviously we won't like it. So what home remedy you can use, everyone? If you're having a weak base, you can use it. It's like take some baking soda, put some water, make a paste and try to apply that. Toothpaste also you can try to apply that. You will feel better because that's base and can try to reduce the effect of that acid by neutralizing it. Same happened with the nettle leaves, that big leaves having all the stinks in that. So whenever you will come in the contact, you will feel that there is pain and irritation and swelling. So you can always use base. And there is also a plant that can act as remedy, as like nettle leaves. We have a dock plant that is also like taking their leaves and crushing it and applying it, having bases, and can reduce the effect of that acid given by nettle leaves. So nature is also doing the same thing. Can you see that? Nature is like the best healer. So believe in the nature. All right, everyone. I hope whatever I taught you is super duper clear. What did we learn today? We talked about the strength of acid and base, how we can decide how strong my acid and base will be, pH use, pH paper use, how to use that, and also what are the uses of pH in our day-to-day life where we see, and there are so many examples. Do let me know if you come across with more and more example in the comment section, because your comments are very important to us. There is something called as homework, because having your homework and completing it is very much important to know that it's a two-way process. So please complete your homework. Do let me know in the comment section. Do let me know if everything is clear. Give your comments. And students, as I told you, what did we learn? Strength of acid and base and importance of pH in our day-to-day life. And very soon we are going to learn about common salts, whatever you expected us to do, because we are running a poll and most important topics that you want us to cover up, we are doing it. Don't worry, we are dividing the syllabus. You can follow Hindi channel also. There will be some video over there also. So no worries, no topic will be left. Trust me. All right, students. So I hope everything is clear. Take the subscription at Vedantu. This is going to be awesome. By selecting your grade, the link was vdnt.in/ytpro, and by selecting your target and choose your subscription wisely for 1 month, 3 months and 6 months by applying the coupon code AGE Pro. If you want to save extra like 15, 27 and up to 40%. So do not miss this chance, okay? And do let me know in case of any query. I'll give you my email ID. This is the link and this is the code. This is my email ID, anubha.gaur@vedantu.com. So thank you so much for watching it. Please hit the like button, support this channel equally. Do let your friends know about the same. Subscribe if you haven't done it yet, and always come and see all the videos. Thank you so much. I'll take a leave right now. Take care of yourself. Prepare well. I'll meet you soon.